morning. It's a brand new day. Decided to dole out 4 mealworms at a time, one for each of the babies in the nest. So that was unexpected. Papa landed on the spouting beside me and came down from a different angle. He usually comes in from the woods, which is this way. He likes to hang out on the branches and come in. The sound of the phone doesn't bother him either. It might bother some other birds. Blue jays are just really steady. I'm sorry, blue birds are just really steady. This morning he's been perching on the roof of the house and over in the trees on the right. The peak of the house is off to your left. I have seen Mama Bluebird this morning. They have not been into the scene together. pile of peanuts in the scene. I don't know if you can see them. I hope he'll come in so you can see him. He's gorgeous. A little large for the music notes. I still like to capture photographs that shows everyone who visited. Isn't he gorgeous? There are 2 or 3 blue jays in the trees, but I don't think they'll come in. For as loud and bold as they are, they're very camera shy and hate the clicks of the camera. We'll see if their love of peanuts or fear of clicks wins out. So I'm trying to catch wings as Papa Bluebird comes in. It's hard because he often comes in from the left. And what I'd like to do is catch him here with really nice wing action. I see him break with his wings. I see him look like a little flying angel with his wings. And I've gotten some nice shots. I think as far as photography goes, you're always wondering, what else are they gonna do? A dream shot would be to have both Mama and Papa in this. And in the meantime, I get to enjoy just a beautiful morning outside with a cup of coffee. So I think the red-bellied woodpecker is getting used to me. There is a female and a male woodpecker. There's a break in the female woodpecker's red mohawk. So the stands that the notes are on have actually been drilled into wood that makes them steady. But right now I've been using this moss for quite a while, and it's in these little patches that have to be arranged to make them just not have gaps in them. And since this moss has been around for a while, I have to spend time piecing it together. I think this is the last day for this moss. It'll go back into the wood and in all the little pieces, and hopefully some will be there to regenerate. So I will have to do some touch-up on this moss in Photoshop just to every photographer has their little rules of things that they like to do in their processing. And I think the big point about it is that whatever is done, that you're honest with it to people. I don't want this piece of moss to interfere with the music note, and I notice that it's covering it a little bit, so I'm going to squish it down. See if that helps. Nobody pays to constantly look through the lens of the... Oh, hi Papa. I missed you. Didn't see you coming in. Now I forgot what I was looking at in the lens of the camera. I think it might have been this. I do have some things underneath this moss. These were pieces that I used. See if that's better. I don't know if you can see it, but I love these little tufts of grass. They grow in the moss sometimes. I think little signs like that are just things that let people know that this is real photography. I don't know if you've noticed, but Papa has like a little tuft of feathers on his one side that kind of puffs out. I don't know why. He never seems to be able to preen them back in. I love the little things like that in birds that let you know that they're real. An AI would never do that. And you know, Papa got in on me without me being ready. And it's because I have to handle my coffee when I sit down. I don't have a big enough clip, but it sure is a nice, comforting, warm cup to be holding. Oops, I dropped one. You'll see Mama Bluebird or Papa Bluebird go digging for that worm. Anything I drop, they find. I have tiny vanilla extract caps sitting beside each of the music notes. The one on the right is a vintage cap, and I'm able to hide it. The one on the left is a newer plastic cap, and I don't think it's quite hidden behind the note, and I really can't do anything about it. The tiniest, see, there he goes for the one that I dropped. So the blue jay was using his size to chase the bluebird off. All birds use their size to chase other birds. It's not just the blue jays. They just happen to be one of the largest birds around. I have to laugh though. You saw the red-bellied woodpecker earlier. The red-bellied woodpecker will hold the blue jay off. They get low and open their beak and almost hiss at the other birds. It's really hilarious to see them go head to head. It's a little more than 40 degrees this morning, so I have my jacket on. I love this weather. It was way too hot earlier in the year. 80 degrees was just not right for spring. I think Mother Nature was having hot flashes. Or God was just playing a practical joke. There's a crabapple tree that's usually my background for the photographs. It's leafed out beautifully. That's my gauge for when spring photography starts. When the leaves first come out. That's usually about early April. I've done way too much shopping at local greenhouses. There's one on the edge of Ephrata called 2 O'Clock Creations, and a lady named Karen runs it. She has an incredible gift of designing planters and just choosing stuff that is for healing. If you ever get a chance and you're in the Ephrata area, again, it's 2 O'Clock Creations. It's close to Rockyville Auto Sales. And there's a little gas station across the way that says lunch special. We have worms. Kind of like a local Moon. See the left feathers that are a little out of place at the top of his wing? I don't usually recognize the difference in the bluebirds, but that's one of his features. Unfortunately, he had a worm face. If I can't get his wings in play, I'd really like to get him perched on the left note and looking up into the air a little. I'd really like him to look like he's going to break out in song. But bluebirds just don't open their beak like some of the other songbirds. So I won't get that, but I want to get something that looks like we think they're on stage and just belting it out. We'll see what they do. So often they surprise me and do so much more. I love those times. I just enjoy the peace and quiet of the morning. There isn't nearly as much bird song as there was earlier today. It's died down. I think it was down here on the deck around 6 o'clock. I was trying to make up for the late start yesterday morning. Yesterday morning there were just all kinds of issues. The notes weren't far enough apart. I had to finish making them look a little old and take the shine off the red paint. And then I wasn't able to load photos from my computer card onto the computer. There's always another day. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. We're sitting in the shade, and the sun is coming up around the back of us. I'm going to lose that tree cover soon. I don't like it when the light starts bouncing around. The tree coverage can kind of make light patches, and the inconsistent light just doesn't look nice on the scene. Right now we have a really nice even light. I do process using light noon first, followed by topaz to take out the noise. Right now the ISO is at like 1280. That's higher than I've ever used before, but topaz takes out the noise, and it also, used carefully, you can sharpen some things up. And then I take it back to Lightroom and I use masking. I like to brighten the birds a little bit to make them pop a little bit more. Since I shoot in shade, usually I warm it up a little bit. There's all kinds of little things that I do. And then it's into Photoshop. Now in Photoshop, I will make the moss look a little bit nicer. I don't know if you notice, the dark spots in the moss. I just don't like that. So I do little touch-ups there. I'll do touch-ups like taking out the edge of the cap. And it's having some color control and softness control. What I never change is I don't change what the birds are doing. I do not clone them into the scene. I think there are 2 photographs that I talk about cloning or putting them together. One is a Thanksgiving scene with a cornucopia, and I just thought Thanksgiving needs 3 birds instead of 1 bird. That's the only one I can remember right now. If I start doing that, then I'll have even more people who visit our booth say, well, is it cloned? And then I'll feel like I have to fess up to that. And yeah, that's just something I don't want to do. People think I just clone the bird into it. They think I take a frame off the video camera. They think I have an automatic camera out here. And I have to explain, I'm right beside the camera. I'm here with it. I sit several hours. I'll take several hundred photographs. I have to laugh. We show videos, and the video clips are just to show people how the birds act around the scene. And even in spite of those clips, 2 girls in their 20s asked me one time, do you use AI for your videos? And I just shook my head. In the end, people believe what they want to believe, and that's okay. I like seeing their smiles, no matter what they think, no matter how they think it's done. I love seeing their smiles when they come into the booth. I love hearing comments on Facebook. Those comments are really encouraging. I really appreciate likes and hearts and laughter, but when you actually say something to me, it really means the world to me because it's really encouraging. Papa's been gone for quite a while. Did I forget to put worms in the cup? This is about the point where I check. Because he's been out so long, maybe he's just tired. There is a worm in here. Was I talking so much I got sidetracked? Loaded up with more worms. He'll still stuff them all in his mouth. We get a kick out of the shots where he has a mouth full of worms. I call it worm face. I think I did forget to reload that. We'll be switching to the live cam after we're done broadcasting here. And you can see how big the bluebird babies are getting. they just amaze me. They start out so tiny and they can hardly lift up their necks, and now you can see their feathers. Those little mouths are so much wider. And Mama and Papa, they have their work cut out for them, keeping those babies fed. We have it on inside our house, and it's like a little birdie alarm goes off every time Mama and Papa bring the food. I wonder if Mama and Papa are just taking their rest. They get tired of all that flying back and forth. The birds are really photogenic, and the brilliant blue is just beautiful at Papa, and then Mama, of course, with her softer blue gray. Mama bluebird has a little Papa blue that's so brilliant. The bluebirds are so steady in their personality. I can talk when they're here. They know I'm here. They don't mind. They come in like clockwork. Their movements are a little bit slower. It's like they'll move and they'll pause. They'll move and they'll pause. And I can just get great shots. I love the other birds too. I think they're bothered more by me being outside all the time. I'm on the deck right now because the weather is perfect for it, a little chilly. But I literally can't get in through the sliding door and back to my seat before Papa Bluebird is on the floor. I mean, I literally can't photograph him. So that's why I'm outside. I actually prefer to be outside. I prefer climate control when it gets hot. That was a blue jay you heard flapping a couple minutes ago, or a couple seconds ago. So I don't know where they are. There are a few birds to photograph. I don't know why. I see a lot online that the bird population is decreasing. And I'm slow to believe such things. But when we're in the woods like that and they're just not showing up as frequently, it really does make me wonder. Of course, it's not winter time. They need a lot more food in the winter time than they do right now. I'm going to turn on Merlin so I can tell you some of the bird song that you're hearing. I recognize some of them, but not all of them. Merlin is free. It's by Cornell University. The Cornell lab has fabulous bird information, and this is one of their products. It's free. The other one that I don't have loaded on my phone is called iNaturalist. What I like about that is you can go out on a hiking trail. If you've downloaded their free pack, you don't need Wi-Fi. So you can be out in the back of Beyond, and it'll help you identify the things that you're seeing. I've heard some people talk about it. I've never done it for myself. But it's something to consider downloading. By the way, 2 of our shows are coming up fast. The Landis Valley Bird and Garden Fair is not this weekend, but the following weekend. It's always the weekend of Mother's Day. It's Friday and Saturday. not Sunday, because of course Sunday is Mother's Day. It's on the grounds of the Landis Valley Farm Museum, and there's a lot of German history there. So not only do you get to see the beautiful bedding plants, the different creative vendors that are there, you also get to wander around this historic grounds. They have an heirloom tent where they are known for their heirloom tomatoes and other heirloom plants. It's basically a volunteer effort. I wanted a shot of that wormy face. They crack me up when they're that way. Looks like that moss is still a little high. At some point, I just have to say, Donna, stop puffing this moss. Push it down a little bit. So, I don't know where Pop was, but it looks like he's back on the job. My worm container is running low. I ordered about, I think it was 6,000 worms a couple weeks ago. And they live in the refrigerator in their own separate drawer. That beep 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 is a chicken area. Chickadee got a worm. I'm so happy for him. I'd like to catch the chickadee in a photo. I love them. This scene is a little bit large for a chickadee. They show up best on smaller items. Choosing the size of the item is a really big deal, and it'll determine which birds look best. So, Merlin has heard an ovenbird. I think I've seen them, but I don't know how to name them. There's a tufted titmouse out there, a Carolina wren, American robin, and a chickadee. And the red-bellied woodpecker is over on the tree. love seeing the chickadee come in. I used to get a whole lot more pictures of them. I've been surprised this time. I've never seen them take peanuts before. Usually they're after the black oil sunflower seeds. That's been one of my top feeding staples that I put out for the birds. They seem to be turning their beak up at them, and I don't know why. So I know the chickadee ate one of them. I'm wondering if he is feeding little chicks back in his nest. Oh, Papa, you're so quick. I didn't even sit down and he was back. That's it. He deserves some free worms without those annoyingly loud clicks. They can grab amazingly fast. Their wings all flutter. Now, Papa, give me some time here. I'm only asking for a couple seconds. Okay, you can come in now. Look up, Papa. Okay. That sure is the red-bellied woodpecker. Look up, Papa. Turn left and look up at the roof. Papa is looking for worms that drop. It's actually in the basement of the feeding platform. There are two levels, basement and the top layer. The basement allows me to hide the pots of plants. So all the plants you some worms. I'm gonna go back in and get some more worms. Back in a minute. Papa out here. Those little baby birdies must be really hungry. I know on the TV they get really loud. Sometimes through the day. I dropped one down here, so you'll see Papa go down to find it. I have a hijink sitting inside at the door, just looking out. He wants to come out with us. So one of the things when I create a scene that I keep in mind is that the birds like to land on the high point, and that would be this music note over here. This makes a nice perch for them. If I don't plan for a perch, it's amazing how they find a place to sit anyway. There's my chickadee. That the chickadee is getting worms. This is the most I've seen of the chickadee for a long time. I hope I'm not insulting the bluebird by talking about the chickadee. Robins love mealworms. So because of where I have them placed, the robin hasn't yet discovered them. And while I love robins, I really hope he doesn't, because they gobble the mealworms up like a bottomless pit. And they just make them disappear in the blink of an instant. So I'll give the robins some mealworms, but then cut them off. And nasty person that I am, I actually scare them away. Pretty song is an ovenbird that goes da-da-da-da. I did not know that was their song. They're one of the brown little birds, and it looks like their chest and belly is brown and white striped. There are many birds in the woods that never come to the feeding platform. The birds are incredibly light. However, with the theme, it came with, there are pegs in the bottom of the music notes, and it came with a little wooden block that I can, the notes into the block. They are top heavy, so when the bluebird landed on them, he'd knock it over, and I'd have to redo the moss and everything else. So I quickly had Brian drill holes and put nails into these blocks so I could put them higher. I found them on eBay. They're supposedly handcrafted from Vietnam. And did you see what he just did? He pooped. He pooped on my sheet. This is like the third time I've seen him do that today. Oh well. But anyway, I was telling you about the music notes. I think I got them on Amazon. Handcrafted Vietnam. They come in a beautiful dark wood. And I hate to do it, but I painted them red. And then I distressed it. So it would look more in keeping with the kind of photography that I do. I really hate painting things with wood grain, and I like, I like wood grain. Our house is filled with trim and baseboards that are natural wood grain, mostly oak. So what I'm trying to say is it's really hard to get something and pay like, what were these? $30. I have a treble clef inside, and then change it with red paint. Originally, I purchased a treble clef, and I did photos with that. I don't know if I'll use those photos or these that I'm working on today. He really had a mouthful. So the treble clef had this cool little heart where it usually twirls around, and I'll just give you off the back. The disadvantage of that one is that it was really tall and linear. I got a really good shot of a bird coming in. Unfortunately, my ISO wasn't pushed high enough, and he's blurrier than the other birds. And I did my best to clean him up in topaz. I just wasn't quite satisfied. I'm starting to get patchy light on the moss. I don't know if you can see it, but the moss in the front is lit up, and the background is in shade. I don't like inconsistent lighting. So, I'm going to take this opportunity. I see Papa up there. Maybe I'll give him, see what he does this one more time, and then I'm going to go in and see what photos I've got. I import them into Lightroom. Lightroom is my first pass. It does a great job of allowing you to move through lots of photos really quickly. I delete, oh my, at least half of the photos on the first pass through just because the back is turned or the wings aren't positioned right. That's a happy red belly. I saw him coming in. I don't think I got a good photo of him. I'll put some worms in the peanuts and see if the red belly will like them. I'll be gone for a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10, but put some random worms out here for the other birds. If I come back and things are pushed over, it'll probably be the robin, bad boy that he is. So enjoy the birds while I'm gone. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee or a morning cup of tea. Actually, it would be even better if you were back on your own porch or deck. I shoot with a Nikon D500. I know how to set it for what I'm doing. The camera is much smarter than I am, and there's always so much to learn in photography. See you in a little bit. this a wrap for today. I think I actually took the photo I'm going to use yesterday, but you just never know what the birds are going to do. I sacrificed this plant to lay it on top. And just in case you were wondering what's behind the music notes, this is a beautiful Nemesia that comes from 2 O'Clock Creations outside of Ephrata. This one is some kind of euphorbia that's also from 2 O'Clock Creations. And I adore this. This came from, oh, I have to think. It's an outback little greenhouse between Martindale and Terry Hill. It's new and it's one of my favorites. So that's what the little scene was. And if you'll give me a minute, I'll show you what was behind the music notes. Behind all this moss. And it's time for this moss to go into the woods. It's just too broken up. Looks like somebody was here. There's the bird poop. Just in case you wanted to know. I should have taken a shot from behind the music notes. I like to show people on Facebook what's there. Let me just uncover this. I'm sorry, I know I might be covering some of the camera. But that's what it looked like. I had stones piled in here so that the drop off from the notes wasn't abrupt. And this moss here kind of hid the ridge. A little piece of log in there helped prop it up, as well as this little piece. So there you can see what's behind the scene. And I think that'll be a wrap for the day. Bye.